Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about quad dominance. Quad dominance is basically when your posterior chain is weaker than your quads. So your hamstrings and your glutes are weaker than your quads. And when you're doing exercises where you intend to work the glutes or hamstrings, sometimes the quads take over instead because they're stronger, they're a big muscle group, and so they do some of the work for you. So well, it's not bad to grow your quads. A lot of people, are trying to grow their glutes, and it can be frustrating when you see more progress and growth in your quads versus your hamstrings and your glutes. Even if you're not like aesthetically trying to grow your glutes, you do want to have strong glutes just to protect your knees. It is a really important part when you're exercising, when you're doing deadlifts and everything, that your glutes can do some of the work for you. A lot of my friends and clients actually requested a blog and video about this because a lot of people are putting in a lot of time working out and not seeing as much progress in their glutes as they want and more in their quads. So what can you do about this? There's a lot of different things that you need to work on if you are quad dominant. One is doing activation exercises. So before you do a workout where you're trying to work on the glutes specifically, you want to do band work and other things that I'm going to show here that will help you activate your glutes so that before you start the workout, you're already feeling your glutes fire and that you know that you're ready to work them when you go into squats and deadlifts and hip thrusts and everything like that, where if you don't activate them, then your quads can automatically start to take over. So if you follow a lot of fitness accounts on YouTube or Instagram, I'm sure you have seen a lot of people using little resistance bands, the ones that loop around you. They might seem like a very small tool that might not do a whole lot, but actually the bands can be really effective for helping activate your glutes. So I'm going to show a video of me doing these, but some activation exercises are band kickbacks. You can do hip abductions, clamshells, crab walks, sea walks. So I'll show all of you those in the video, but those really help. So you want to do that initially to warm up the glutes and really feel the glute activation in that. So in any exercise, it's really easy, especially if you're new to exercises and it's kind of intimidating. You don't know what to focus on when you're doing the exercise, and you can just kind of go through the motions and not think about working your glutes, and the quads will automatically take over. So really, when you're doing the activation exercises, really just think about the glutes, making sure you feel them firing, and you want to start your workout out by doing those. Then you can also add the bands to exercises like doing the leg press, hip thrusts, deadlifts, anything where you're not like moving your legs super far apart. You can keep the band on your thighs and push your legs out into the bands a little bit, and that will help you continue to activate your glutes during the exercise. Okay, so we're getting right into the band activation exercises here. The first one is clamshells. So you put your feet together and then you push your knees all the way out to the sides, using that band for resistance, and you're kind of working the outside of your glutes on this one. Then we're going to go right into a glute bridge. We're going to do 10 to 15 of these. You can't really tell because of the camera angle, but my toes are slightly lifted off of the mat, so I'm really just pushing through my heels. You'll see me touch my butt. So I usually during some of these activation exercises, I'll actually like physically touch my glutes to make sure that I can feel the muscle working. Sometimes that helps me with the whole mind to muscle connection. Then I have frog thrusters, so I put my feet together, go into hip thrust, lifting my hips all the way up, squeezing. Then we go to crab walks. So you're going into a squat, and then you stay in the squat and take 2 steps to the left, 2 to the right, depending on how much space you have. I usually try to do about 10 in each direction. There's the butt touch again. And then we are going to go into banded squats after this. So we have body weight squats just with the band on. Really just trying to make sure you can feel your glutes doing the work here too, not just your quads, and pushing out into the band as you do so. Then these are sea walks. So I bring my leg in, make a C with my legs. So I go in and then push it out, and then in, push it out. So really on that push out, you're using your glutes, trying to work the outer part. I usually go up and down 2 times, so you can see I walk forward and then do it backwards. So I put the number of reps I usually do on each of these exercises at the bottom, but I also do 2 to 3 sets depending on how activated my glutes pretty much are feeling that day. Sometimes it takes a little more, sometimes I can feel them firing right away, so I do 2 to 3 sets. Here then we have the kickbacks, so I do 10 on each side. Really squeeze as you're kicking back. You can do a little pause at the top. I do 10 on each side. Okay, this last one is hip abduction, so we are bringing the leg away from the center of the body, warming up the gluteus minimus and medius and the hips for all these exercises we're going to do. We're going to do 8 to 10 on each side and then go into the workout. One thing that is really important is when you are doing anything like squats, hip thrusts, lunges, anything where you're basically pushing through your feet, make sure that you're putting the weight in your heels and not your toes. If you're putting through the heels, that pushes the weight through the back of your legs versus using your quads. So if you're leaning more into your toes, you're going to use your quads more. If you're doing something like hip thrusts or a leg press where most of your body weight is supported on like a bench or a machine, then you can actually put your heels on the platform that you're pushing off of and actually lift your toes up just so you're really pushing through the heels. If you're doing deadlifts or squats, I just like to, so I get into the position and then I really think about like spreading the floor with my feet. So you just want to really put all the pressure in through your feet, and I put 80% of the weight in my heels and 20% on the toes, so like 10% on the big toe, 10% on the little toe. It takes a lot of getting used to, but once you practice that over and over, you'll get used to doing it automatically. So just think most of the weight in your heels and then gently press into your big and little toe. So like I'm closing my eyes while I'm talking about it because that's what I do when I set up for a deadlift or a squat. Even now, like when I'm doing the first set, I just mentally think like, okay, heel, toe, toe, like most of the weight in the heel. You obviously can't like rock back and put all of the weight in your heels because you're not going to be able to be steady for a squat or deadlift. You still want to have some weight in the toes, but almost all of the weight in the heels, so like 80%. So yeah, just really practice doing that even when you're warming up, doing body weight squats. Just sit back, press your heels into the floor, and then your toes. Same thing when you're doing like single leg exercises. That's a good way to practice balancing and growing that strength in the posterior chain. Another cue to pay attention to is when you're doing lunges, squats, especially like split squats, to make sure that your knee is over your ankle. I know that's like a really common cue that you hear, but think about when you do split squats, if you aren't the right distance from the bench or if you're doing them in a TRX strap, then you will work your quads more. So you really want to make sure that your knee is right above your ankle and that you can push through your heel in that front foot when you're doing split squats, or when you're doing squats that your knees might track a little bit like outside, but you really don't want them going over your toes. And then same with lunges. Sometimes people overdo it and they really want to go forward into it, but you don't want to go beyond your knee being past your toe. So pay attention to that when you're doing squats, lunges. Kind of cut myself off there, but that leads right into the step ups, where I want to show you that I am doing what we were just talking about, pushing through the heel. So the first clip here is just a regular step up, and I'm making sure that my knee doesn't go too far above my toe. So you want to keep it above the ankle or the midfoot, which is where your laces are. And then the knee drive is just a progression of the step up where you're going at a little bit higher intensity. As you can see, I'm still a little bit unstable when I do these, but you want to just push through your heel, making sure you're doing that the whole time and making sure that you're staying upright. So if you start to lean into your toes, you probably will notice that your body starts to lean forward a little bit, and then you're putting a lot more pressure into the quads versus the glutes. And before you add any weights into this exercise, just make sure you have the form down and that you're actually feeling it in your glutes first. Hip thrusts are a major key in building the glutes, so if you haven't been doing them, I highly suggest adding them into your routine. I just want to point out the few things here that I'm doing to make sure I get the best engagement of my glutes. I have the band around my thighs, so I really just push out into the band as I'm going up. I really squeeze at the top of each rep, and I'm pushing through my heels, so you can see my toes are elevated a little bit into the air. And finally, see my position that my knees are directly over my ankles. You just want to make sure you start in that position so you get the best activation. Next up, I have Romanian deadlifts. There are 3 types of deadlifts that really help me activate my hamstrings. That is Romanian deadlifts, stiff leg deadlifts, which are similar but not the same, and then single leg deadlifts. So here I'm doing Romanians, and I keep my toes elevated on little plates there. This is a great little trick to activate your hamstrings a little bit more. I always really feel it when I do these. I also have the band around my thighs again in this clip. I don't always do that when I am doing deadlifts, but I thought I would include that because when you're first starting to do deadlifts like this, if you're having trouble activating your glutes, it is a great way to keep yourself reminded to activate them by keeping the band around your thighs. Don't worry, I didn't forget about squats. So here I am doing squats, but I have my heels elevated on plates. If you notice that your heels rise up when you're squatting, or you're just having trouble activating your glutes, you can throw those under to help activate your glutes more. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, a lot of my friends asked me to make this video. A lot of them are my friends that I used to do BBG with. BBG is a workout guide by Kayla Itzines. I did that for about a year. A lot of my friends did it or still do it. And this kind of came up in conversation because I mentioned that when I did BBG, I leaned out a lot, but I totally lost my butt. So I switched out of BBG, started doing my own workouts, and just focused on really doing glute building exercises and focusing on the activation and everything. But they were asking me, to explain more about that, and this is kind of a while ago, so sorry guys that this took such a long time. But there's a lot of plyo in BBG. It's a lot of jump lunges, jump squats, burpees, just tons of jumping, which is really great for leaning out, but it's not so great for the booty. There are exercises in BBG that work your butt. There's, squats. They're not super heavy squats or anything, but squats, step ups, lunges, things like that, but definitely not heavy enough. There is BBG Stronger now. I haven't tried that at all or anything. It's been over a year since I stopped doing BBG on my own personally. But if you are experiencing that where you're doing a high plyo program and you notice that your butt's getting smaller, or you're just not seeing the progress that you'd like, work on these activation techniques and maybe add just a butt glute focused lifting day to your routine. You don't have to completely stop doing whatever program it is that you are, but that's really a program that's focused on getting lean and not exactly growing muscle. Now this is obviously a totally different topic. It's not about quad dominance or the actual exercises or anything, but when you are trying to grow your glutes, you need to be eating in a surplus. To grow any muscle, you need to be eating more than you are burning. So I usually, and a lot of people in this industry or on their own fitness journey, most people spend maybe October through March or some period of time like that, around 4 to 6 months. 6 is probably optimal, working on a growing phase in a bulk, eating in a surplus. Most people choose to do it in the winter because you're not wearing as revealing clothing, so it's okay mentally to put on a little bit more fat, because when you go into a surplus, you're going to gain muscle and fat at the same time. That's just how it happens. Optimally, you'll very slowly gain fat with the muscle, so it's not like you're going to gain a ton of fat, but you're definitely not going to be as lean, seeing the abs and everything like that. And then in reverse, in the summer, a lot of people go towards a cut where you eat below your maintenance level of calories, so you're burning more, eating less, or burning more through lower calories and more cardio than what your body is burning. Does that make sense? I know the whole calorie thing might seem unrelated to growing your glutes, but it is really important. A lot of girls try to grow their glutes, but they also try to be in a cut at the same time. And realistically, if you're really trying to put size onto your glutes, you're going to have to go into a bulk at some point and eat in a surplus so you can gain that muscle. Your body and your muscles need fuel to grow, so just keep that in mind. You can also eat at maintenance. When you're in a beginner phase of your fitness journey, you're more likely to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, but as you go on, I've been working out for at least 5 years now. As you go on in your fitness journey, it's really hard to grow muscle and lose fat at the same time. You kind of have to pick one and work on that. So like I said, a lot of people bulk in the winter and cut in the summer. By all means, you do whatever schedule works for you or however you feel you need to work on. It's kind of society's like effed up way of saying like that you need to be lean in the summer and can put on more muscle in the winter, but that's how most people feel comfortable. They want to be lean for bikini season, so that's how it is. But hopefully that was helpful, just that little tidbit about calories. One more thing that might really help you in your glute routine is the shoes that you are wearing. So you might have been noticing that a lot of people are wearing Converse on leg day. That is not what I wear. Converse kill my feet, like the arches kill when I wear Converse. I don't have any, but I tried wearing them when I worked in their waitressing industry. A lot of the servers had them, and I don't know how they stayed on their feet all day wearing Converse, but if that works for you, that's great. The reason people like to wear Converse is because the soles are really flat, so your heel is closer to the floor when you're doing deadlifts, squats, any glute exercise like that. Not great for jumping or anything like that because they're not very supportive of the ankles. But what I use is these Nikes. I unfortunately don't know like what the style of these is called. It doesn't say on the tag, which is kind of weird. But I got these from Last Chance, which is it's like a Nordstrom Rack, but it's like the step after that. So things go from Nordstrom to Nordstrom Rack to Last Chance. And so I got these there. So this is like really close to the floor. It's not too cushiony or anything. So I can really feel when I'm doing squats and deadlifts, I can feel like my heel pushing right into the floor when I wear these. And that's why a lot of people like to wear Converse. So just make sure that you're not wearing something with a really thick, chunky heel on it, because that is not good for a leg day. But yeah, anything like that. You might even see people that do deadlifts and stuff with their shoes off. That's so that they can really focus on their form and pushing through their heels. So just wear what works for you, but be aware that you don't want to be wearing something that's like memory foam or something like that. Just wear something that has a very thin heel so that you can focus on using your heel and pushing and using those glutes. Alright guys, that pretty much wraps it up. I put in little clips of me doing all those things I was talking about, pushing through the heels, band activation, all of that. So briefly summing it up, make sure you do your band exercises, mind-muscle connection, pushing through your heels, and realize that at some point if you're trying to grow your glutes that you're probably going to have to go on a calorie surplus, which is fine because more food can be fun. Eat more pizza. But anyways, if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.